walked over to the top so you could see.
I never did that with you. But it's still everything, even going to New York City, everything. I was like, okay, yeah, this is nice, but it's always bigger in my mind. That's because my spirit is so expansive. I always imagined how things were. They were oh so big, and I got there, and I'd be like,
what happened?
What's this? my imagination was always better than reality. Oh, well. Hi. Salutations, greetings. My name's Marge. Huh?
Maybe you can give it to somebody.
Maybe. I'm Heyoka. I'm empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. If you don't know what a Heyoka is, go check out Heyoka. Maybe if more people look into what a Heyoka is, then I'll see less of these freaking clown emojis and clown icons on freaking posts where ass hats are involved. Because, I'm a clown. I've been a clown my whole life, and I don't claim any of those ass hats. So if people could stop comparing the likeness of me to freaking scoundrels, nefarious beings, low vibrational beings, gross, creepy, nasty, dirty, ick. Anyway, I wanted to have a little talk. I was listening to Aquarius Rising Africa this morning. She did a live this afternoon. Chantel was on live with some girl, and they were giving their take on all this transgender stuff and things like that. And I have some personal experience with it. I'm going to share my personal experience here. And if somebody gets something out of it, so be it. And if not, that's fine too. When I came into this world, I was a little rough and tumble, man. I didn't understand that I knew I was a girl. I understood I was a girl, but I didn't align with it at all. I just always felt like a boy. And for a long time, I wanted to be a boy because I looked how well boys were treated. Boys, everybody did things for the boys. Boys got to do the fun jobs. Boys got to drive the fun cars, the big trucks. Boys got to do all the cool stuff. And I figured I'd never gonna get to do that cool stuff because I'm just a dumb girl. So also I had trouble with I had terrible things happen to me. I read the police report when I was a junior high that they had word. I don't need to get anyway. I was essentially raped as a 10-month-old baby, and my hip that explains why my hip popped years later. That made that as soon as I read that report, I'm like, oh, that's why my hip pops. Okay, that's why my gait is funny. All right, that makes sense. Anyway, you get knowings when the student is ready. Your teacher is right there, whether you. Anyway, so that kick-started like a lot of stuff when people get messed with. It kickstarts stuff in their body. It starts systems that aren't supposed to start until years later, decades later, right? So, like, I think as a direct result, things happen. Like, I started my period. It was like a week after my 9th birthday, or maybe it was my 8th or 9th birthday. I think it was my 9th birthday. So if it would have happened a week that month before, I would have. Anyway, so it's. I always had to contend with that and all the crap that went with that, and doing that at 9 and 10 and having to explain leaving class and stuff, it just was never, just always sucked. All right. So, going on, I still, being a little tomboy and things like that. And, I also knew that I didn't want to marry a man and be a wife. Good boy, Tut-Tuck. I didn't want to be somebody's wife. Is that I always knew that I was the caregiver and the provider and things like that. So I wasn't ever going to go down that route. I was never going to go down, So I knew that society, life was going to be troublesome for me. Good boy, Tuck. Come on. No, come up here. Good boy. But all the while, growing up, keeping all this stuff to myself, not sharing any of this stuff, these thoughts with anybody, because, God hates gays and all this stuff. So just keep it all to yourself and just act like everybody else and just go along and things will be great, right? So fast forward, I mean, there were times even I remember I would imagine what it would like to be a guy, that they have it so much easier, you know? And then now it's just so peculiar. But the thing of it is a lot of people, maybe not to the extreme of what, you know, I think if you're incarnate on this planet, you're going to wonder like what it's like to be on the other side. You know, people are going to be curious. People are curious about their sexuality, you know. People are, I think, just taking it to extreme now, and they're just getting curious about their the thing of it is here's the kicker. This is what I've come to believe for myself. Listening to a lot of different people, I'm like, okay, yeah, I this, all right. So this is where it comes from. And Benny's whining right now, and it's freaking driving me. I hate when he whines. He'll lay there and he'll just freaking like snivel, and it drives me crazy. So I'm gonna try and keep my train of thought. So, stop! Don't mess me up. Go outside when I'm done, you big baby. All right. So I believe, like, incarnation after incarnation for a long time, I was male. Gender, I was male. In my last incarnation, I was male. And I think my life ended up abruptly. And I think pretty sure it had something to do with me doing a backflip and breaking my neck. Because I've always, I freaking had, like, the first time I went to the hospital, I was probably 2-3 because I did a backflip off of, anyway, I don't want to get in the whole story. Anyway, so it's my spirit was still connected to my last incarnation because everything happened so fast it didn't know. And then I was born into this little baby girl body, you know, 6 pounds 4 ounces, just on April 9th, 1974, 11:01 a.m., you know, with all this masculine energy, you know, boy stuff, you know, man, you know, all this stuff where it hasn't been warmly received for most of my life. I can tell you that. I've still continued the course, and I've always been in line with me. And because of the bad stuff happened, you know, I looked at femininity and all that stuff as just weakness. Okay? I cleared all that old idea out of the way. So now I believe that I was a male in my last incarnation. Now I'm a female, and I'm still have that residual energy. Okay? Knowing that, it's easier to embrace, because God don't make junk. I hate to see people go through these surgeries and stuff like that when you can just tell in your mind, you know what you are in your mind. But to perpetuate the surgeries and all that and big pharma and all that stuff, I hate to see people do that, you know. And see, because when I was a little kid, like, I would like eavesdrop, you know, like, oh, anytime somebody would talk about something queer, I would like, oh, because they're talking about me, but I can't gather data directly because I don't want people to even know everybody fucking knew. I mean, come on. Want to see a picture of me? I found a picture of me from high school the other day. I got a screenshot of it. It's pretty funny. This is 1992. You know, I've always been me. And so when I look around and see other people that don't know how to be themselves, I don't know how to be around them, because I can only know how to, I don't know. I know authenticity, and I don't like trite, and I don't like shallow, and I don't like mundane, and I don't like mediocre, and I don't like all that freaking stuff that where people didn't try a little bit harder to be something a little bit more exceptional. You know, I've tried hard. You know, collected a lot of data. So when I was younger, you know, it's like you'd have to go to a psychologist if you wanted a sex change, and like I'd have to go see him for a year, and it was like they were adamantly no, you know, and somehow the heart space changed, and so now like kids are going to kindergarten and they're like, a little girl goes, I want to be a boy. And they're like, we can make it happen for you. You know, it's just weird, but people go through these phases. People go through phases all the time. They try, that's what this life is about, is trying stuff on and see if you like it. But you don't freaking steal the library book out the library and keep it forever. So, man, it's hard to see that, because I'm like, and I was as an adult in my, when did I get braces? I think I was like 38, 39. I got braces. I could go back and look at my pictures on Facebook. That's a good way to go back and see where you were at what time. I think, anyway, I was around 40, you know, and I used to have the same top teeth as Jewel. They're all crooked, stuff like that. And sometimes I kind of wish I would have kept it that way. Actually, I kind of miss my old jaggedy smile. These teeth are behind here, but it was mine, you know. But I was always told, you know, people with the nice smile. Should you go for a walk? I got braces, but at that same time, I was researching top surgery.
What kind of surgery?
Top surgery. I was going to have they call it breast reduction surgery. I was going to have my boobs taken off. Because I got a lot of backache and stuff too. And I don't have any physical attachment to them. I never have. They've just always just made my buttons pop out on my dress shirts and stuff. And you know, I mean, it's like, hey, I'm female. Never thought I was anything different, you know. I would still identify a female if I had a breast reduction surgery, you know. But I got braces instead. And what deterred me was the recovery. I didn't get that much vacation time, and it was like 6 or 8 weeks because you got drains coming out. They cut off your boobs and then put on your nipples back on, and yeah. And so I was like, you know, I'll get braces instead. So, you know. But I can understand, I can relate to these kids. I'd like to talk to some of these kids and just get to their you know, these people that are, and then, you know, that's the thing is, God don't make junk, and I just hate to see that people can't learn to love, you know, and you, try. I know a lot of ways to remember your old lives so you can rectify things in this one. Man, I know a lot of people have irrational fears about that stuff. You know, it's because of something related to something that happened in a previous incarnation. Once you realize it, it just kind of takes the fear out of your freaking scared sale. That's the way I look at it. Yeah, I'm on early because I was trying to catch before. It seems like when I do, Sassy wants to walk around, and I didn't want that today. So if you saw the thumbnail to the video, that's ode to the coffee spot. It closed today. The coffee spot closed after 10 years of being open. I just was introduced to me about 6 months ago, and I got to go thank the man that owned the place. His name's Greg. Same name as my dad. Anyway, and I was like, you know, thanks, because one thing that this place did offer is not just a decent cup of coffee, you know, is a sense of community that I hadn't been able to get for about 5 years that I was looking for, you know. That's one of the reasons why I went to AA meetings for so long, was because of the camaraderie, you know, the consistency. You know, there might have been, on Tuesday night, there might have been 400, 500 people who went to my meeting. I might only been happy to see a couple of them, but a couple of them I was real happy to see every week, you know. So it's the camaraderie, it's that community, it's coming back. And Andrea, I was going to tell you, she's down in partly cloudy. She's down, she told me Norfolk, I think. What, Ma? What were you going to say?
I was going to ask, I lost my...
Sorry, Ma. I was worried. Take her over. Don't. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go, Mom. Come on over, Mom. You could have just done it right there, too, but... Well, so much for my doing it early. Yeah, I haven't been sleeping. I haven't been sleeping hardly at all. Mom's been blessed with the freaking not having to remember. Something happens and then 5 minutes later it's gone. 'Cause your dog likes to yell at me in the middle of the night. Come and do little chores for her. Bring her food and stuff like that. Sometimes she likes to go walking around. Once I'm awake, see, because the sun goes down at like before 5 around here in North New Mexico. And then it goes down and then I'm freaking, I want to go to bed by like 8. So I go lay down, I go to sleep. Then I have to get up usually around midnight, turn off Mom's TV and stuff like that.
I don't have a TV.
Yeah, I leave it on for a while for you. And then about 1 o'clock I'm up. And then freaking 1 to 4. And then if I can go back to sleep for an hour or so. The little kittens were playing too. Yeah. So anyway, I was just thinking about that. What people are going through. And it's just a fetus system. You know, they don't care about the people and if they're more comfortable. It's all about being comfortable in your skin. Man, that's what life is just trying to find some peace and some serenity while you wade through the crap of what's being projected on you. And you just trying to deflect. No, that's not real. That's not real. Okay, that's true. That's not. It's just, it's so exhausting. Another synchronicities, I like to make point of synchronicities that happen in my life throughout the day. And this was right after, I should have mentioned it yesterday because the other day before yesterday, I think it was, I was talking about the crash test dummies because it came on in my ear and how the only show I'd ever seen that ever referenced them was How I Met Your Mother. And then I finished my video, turned on an episode of freaking Northern Exposure. And sure as shit, they had a Crash Test Dummies reference. Ruth Ann, and it was Ruth Ann, the old lady that did it, the store shop owner. She was the one that made it. She asked a ventriloquist doll if one of his dreams, lifelong dreams, was to tour with the Crash Test Dummies. And I was like, freaking of course, man. Synchronicities are just crazy these days. So I did make notes yesterday, and I didn't talk about them. See, I was going to talk about gendered identity. Our spirits get confused about stuff, you know, and it happens the other way too. A lot of these men with all this feminine energy, you know, well, once people start realizing about what energy and frequency is, maybe they'll pay less attention to genders. I always hated that. The gender specifics that people put on things. Women are terrible drivers. Oh yeah, you ain't never freaking drove with my grandpa Butch. You know, my whole life I'd listen to people talk about how men did this and women did this, and I just always knew something that countered it, and so I never bought into that. And then, you know, with all this, I think that's what's happened. There's just a lot of people that have a lot of freaking confusion. You know, you're stuck. You're stuck in your old life. You get unstuck, you can enjoy this life. I'm pretty sure I can help people do that. I've been through this. I've done it myself. You know? And I see all over Facebook, all over Twitter, all over BitChute, all over all these places. All these people are stepping up and they're like, pay me to help you. And my question number one is help, peace, and serenity. That is something that we are all should be entitled to, okay? Money isn't real. So the fact that people want so much money that isn't real for something that is so very real and so very pure, I got problems with that. They're not my kind of practitioner. You know? So... and I'm seeing it all over the place, you know. You're still paying their overhead. You're still paying for their cars and their houses, and they just say it's all in the name for the purpose of they serve, and all of, you know. Do people pay for my house? My house is going to be a lot smaller, because number one, I never want to live in a house that I'm not, you know, going to clean myself. People get too big. Their egos get too big. And what happens when their egos expand so big? What gets freaking snuffed out? The spirit. The spirit of freaking enough abundance for everyone. The spirit of good orderly direction. Because everybody's just going around doing what they want to do. What I write here? Positive and negative. Oh, I was gonna rewrite like my description, because I've been, it's where it says merge with Marge. I'm positive and negative. I'm a positive and negative mix of spirit and science, and that's what I want to see more of in the world. Spirit and science merging for the positive. But see, that's the thing, is you get all these universities that get all that recruit all these kids, and they come up with the ideas, and then the universities keep them and then sell them to the businesses and the corporation, and it's all for money and for profit. And we got to shift the balance to the other way, you know, to help people. I'm tired of freaking, you know, all these developers that develop all these freaking apartments and condos and stuff, and it's only for middle class and up. And the rest of us, we can't contend with that shit. You know? Everybody should be everybody should be able to have a forever home. People aren't getting that these days. No, but you got people with freaking 8, 9 houses in freaking 6 different states. It's just, come on, man. And none of that shit you can take with you. Yeah, now it's getting to the point, the more I see that people have, and the less, you know, it's just like, no, man, that withholding is like the worst, I think. The withholding person, I could help you, but I'm just not gonna, you know? Oh, gosh. I could pick them out in a crowd, and it's most of the crowd these days. Yeah. Oh, I do want to talk about this. How long I've been running my mouth. 22. Boom, boom. The kinetic energy. Speaking of science merging with spirit, kinetic energy. There's so much kinetic energy. Static electricity in the air. The other night, I'm not even kidding. I'm not even exaggerating. I think it was a gray cat it was Stanley or the gray cat. I can't remember. He was sitting in this chair right here. I had the light unplugged. All right. Now, I was petting him, and he had so much static electricity in here that I was petting him. He would spark, and then this little light bulb right here would flicker. And I kept trying to test my results, right? Because it happened once, I was like, and I did it again. I got it to do it like 3 times, man. It was so cool. I love that stuff. So, when there's I don't know what Uranus is doing. That's like the planet of electricity as far as I understand it. But I just know that there's certain periods of time that when there's, and I can tell because I always put the knob on the toaster in the same place for Mom's toast. Right? Because she likes the same. She doesn't like it real dark and crispy. She doesn't like it too soft. So it's like right in the medium, right? There are times when there's so much kinetic energy in the air, there's electricity in the air, that it speeds up the process. So I actually have to be mindful to set it for less to compensate, because her toast burns. Yeah. I can't make this stuff up, man. And so you put something in that, and I think about, because I'm always thinking, I've died in house fires, and I used to have irrational fears of it when I was a kid. Like I would when I go see my grandma, because she always lived like on the 3rd floor and stuff like that, and I was always planning for escape routes. Do you have okay, is the ladder still there? Do you still have the ladder under your bed in case the fire starts? We can go out the window. I'm a trip, man. That's for sure, man. I'm a trip. So that's your angel number. That's your number. That's rad. That's rad. I'm glad that I could be a part of your angel number. So, so people, and also safety first. It's a good time. People are going to start using their furnaces. Change out your furnace filters. Have somebody look at your furnace filter. Change out. These are like, I did that because I was on my mind to do. Then there was an episode of Northern Exposure. And Maurice's house burned down. And the cause of fire was the furnace filter was clogged. See, because it collects so much dust. It's, all you need is a spark for dust to light up. So I'm going to go through, I got the vacuum right here. I'm going to go through and freaking vacuum out all the dust out of all the components too. Yep. Preventive maintenance. And so, what else? Furnace filters, yeah, and the kinetic energy. And I wonder when all the IT people, the people that are, Apple and all the people making the technology, when are you going to start making technology to compensate for the human residents? Right? Because, a lot of technology is going to get glitchy because everything's, even us, man, our frequencies are raised. So when you're going to start, I'm a electronic slider. I can't rant text. I can't because the cursor bounces all over. I go through a lot of light bulbs, And then here's another synchronicity. That story I've said a few times on videos that I've used about, something being good. If something is good or bad, maybe. It's a story that Rick Levine had told a few times. And then Marilyn told it the other day, and I was like, I wonder if that's where Rick got it from. I was talking about Northern Exposure today at the coffee shop, so it's just kind of sad to have to, they're gonna go up to the other coffee shop. I don't like that other coffee shop. It doesn't feel good to me, and I don't like doing stuff if it don't feel good. So it's just the winds of change are blowing. Just keep. But I understand about going in the flow, but I got pretty good about, being by myself and being comfortable. Well, not by myself. Mom's always here. I'm never by myself. But being able to go without, buddies and stuff like that. But things are changing. Hopefully it won't be closed for too long. Hopefully someone will go in there. People have more money than God, so they can just piss it away on stupid stuff. Maybe it won't stay closed for long. Who knows? So, yeah, there's so much kinetic energy. Frickin', and that's fiery energy. It can ramp people up. I have to work harder to stay here. I didn't have coffee at the coffee shop today. I got my half and half thing. So I can't drink coffee much. I don't need to speed up, man. I need to slow down. I didn't get to relax. I didn't really meditate today. I could do it next. I could start soaking the DOG's food and then meditate and then listen for Benny's wine, but that's all right. I usually do it about every day. It's all right if I take a day off, Today's the 6th. I was listening to Zach's talk. Did he put out his new? No, he didn't put it out, but he's getting closer to put out his book. His new book, Illuminati Confirmed, I think it's called. I don't know. It's just quiet around here. I haven't been motivated to do really much of anything. Really. I don't want to do anything. I was going to call and get my second foot bath detox deal. Schedule that. But I was like, well, I don't want to call in case she tells me to come over today. Because I don't want to say no. So I'll just call tomorrow or the next day, That's the thing, man. Mom, we always been kind of in between time. We've always been divinely protected. And that's what I need to think of it. Because sometimes I'm like, ugh, I get in my olden days mentality. I'll digress to be like, oh, I just want to go out and play and do this and that without accepting and respecting where God wants me now to be in more of a holding pattern and to go within and things like that. And so when I get all, I feel like I wanna, then that tells me that the energy is just so freaking potent right now. And I was talking to one of my buddies at the coffee shop, because it's just like tempers are short and things like that. And he was even talking about how he had gotten a bill and it was more than he expected, right? I think it was a gas bill. And I was thinking about it, and I wonder if it's like if he does the level plan and then at the end of the year you get a bill for the difference to keep it the same price. And he got that bill because he was like, I can't go down there, because he's like, I would have gotten arrested, because people have all this extra fire energy in them and stuff like that. And depending on what your placements are and stuff like, and what your what your natural, where you freaking vibe, man. That's what I was telling him today. I was like, I'm trying to stay down here. I got to work harder to stay grounded, because now I wake up, I'm like, woo, I got the juice. So anyway, I think that's about all I got. I mostly want to talk about that gender stuff. And I'll probably talk about it again, because I just hate to see, because you do that, and then you're going to just have to freaking come back and do it again the next life, So if you just rectify it now and end up the way you started, pretty much as close as you can, you don't have to save yourself an incarnation or a whole course of lessons or whatever, And I know in my past lives I was terrible to women. I know it. That's why my karma was like, as soon as I came back, erased. All right, you were a shitball to women. This is what happened to you, And then here and there, I've seen how freaking terrible men have treated women my whole life.